Life hack time. There is Darwinian theory of organisms evolution, which tells a story about rare radical mutations, evolutionary jumps, and gradual, or continuous, mutations improving organisms. And ruthless selection decides whether some mutation is advantageous for a species or not. But nowadays scientists have become aware of extremely complex molecular machines running living cells, and some of such machines are of irreducible complexity, meaning they are comprised of various parts, and without any part such machine has no use. That casted a shadow on Darwinian-like explanation on such machines being built gradually in evolution. Alternative theory called intelligent design arose, stating that cells and other life creatures somehow target certain functionalities as their evolutionary goals and somehow can see over dysfunctional gap from no functionality to functionality, so that functionality is achieved. They get the machine blueprint somehow. Such features/machines are recorded in DNA once they are built, and to appear as result of random DNA mutations, it will require, for example for ribosome creation, 1074 mutations in DNA, and that is a big number, bigger than number of atoms in universe, and it would take more time than Earth has existed, or even more than 14 B years from Big Bang. By now we know that there was no Big Bang, and there should be no reasonable way of counting atoms in universe, but we can do better than that. We'll show that life figured out a way to produce unimaginable number of mutations in a reasonable time. Let's start far away from a test I got during one financial job interview. Having $10,000 in 1 hour, find a person who gets all heads in row on 10 tosses of a coin. Results should be reproducible. Within another hour and with $10,000 you should find another person getting all heads in row on 10 tosses. There are two known solutions at least. One uses group of 10,000 people, but that is an unreasonable number of people to gather in 1 hour. Another solution, which is reasonable, starts with collecting a group of 1,000 people. Game plan: each person is asked to toss a coin, and if he or she gets tails, then he or she leaves the group, but does not go away, and if he or she gets heads, then he or she tosses coin again, and so on, up to 10 attempts. Person is paid $1 for each coin he or she tosses. Let's see what happens in average. 1. 1,000 tosses, 500 heads, stay, 500 tails, leave 2, 500 tosses, 250 heads, stay, 250 tails, leave 3, 9, 4 tosses, 2 heads, stay, 2 tails, leave 10, 2 tosses, 1 heads. Total number of tosses 1,000 plus 500 plus 250 plus ... plus 4 plus 2 equals 2,000 when results are evenly distributed between heads and tails. But at steps 9 and 10, when number of tosses is small, results could be distributed very unevenly. Probability of failing the game, at step 10 all tails, is ~1/4. Cost of the whole, 1 to 10, game is $2,000. Having $10,000, we can run such game 5 times. Because of these 5 rounds we asked all losers not to go away, to participate in next rounds. Probability of failing all 5 rounds is ~1/4 equals 1/210 equals 0.001. Meaning, we will win a round with 1 to 0.001 equals 99.9% probability. Thus, we will have at least one winner with the probability of 99.9%. If think back, this problem was about time actually. We have to find our winner in 1 hour. If we go with 10,000 players, we will fail to gather them in 1 hour. If we go with one person tossing a coin 10,000 times and waiting when 10 heads happen in row, we will fail again, as it is improbable for a person to make even 1,000 tosses in an hour, with checking results. So, we used a reasonable size group of 1,000 players and translated 1 hour game into 1,000 hours of players combined time. We hacked the time, we made the time. Life has figured out that mechanism long time ago, by cell division, replication. At a single person lifetime, a bacterium that divides once in a few days, will divide 210,000 times. 10,000 power comes from number of days. It is approximately 10,000,001,000, a number difficult for us to comprehend. We know 10,004 is a trillion. But there should be enough food and space for a big population of this bacteria family. And ruthless and relentless selection shoots this number down as well. But anyway, such bacterium converts a time period we get used to into unimaginably big combined time, and probability of mutation 1 of 1074 does not sound improbable compared to 10,001,000. In the nutshell, Darwinian life equals solving problems, even without identifying them. Compared to intelligent design, life equals identifying problems and solving them. Last one definitely comes from human speculation and sounds like definition of intelligence. Life hack that we described, works for cellular organisms, replicating often. But even for complicated organisms, like us, 99.99% of problems were solved at the time when single-cell organisms evolved, and solutions were inherited and scaled up in multicellular species. Check please youtube.com. Is a giraffe or just a cell?
The lacrimaria. You can see this creature, it's hunting in its environment. Look at the incredible competency for goals at the single cell level. So all of its metabolic needs, its physiological, morphological, and behavioral goals are handled at the level of one cell. There's no brain, there's no nervous system, there's no cell-to-cell communication, there are no stem cells. One cell, this is real time, one cell is doing all of this.
We, people, still solve many problems even not noticing them and not identifying them as problems. Most of them were solved and solutions are wired in us through our ancestors, a long time ago. Some really new problems that we come across and solve do not require 1074 mutations. But if we decide to grow wings, then mutations will kill us probably. Rarer than rare scenarios and environments described in Chapter 5 Aftermath. Perhaps life appeared then and there, but evolved/adjusted on Earth. Or, let's explore the possibility of ribosome creation on Earth. Did we make a mistake in assuming that the possibility of ribosome random creation is one of 1074? Let's take into account the survivorship bias, a good example of how probability of event could be dramatically misinterpreted, though it seems right for an observer of the result. Although the probability of getting a particular ribosome, which we observe now, is one of 1074, let's change our perspective to the functional. Ribosomes are macromolecular machines, found within all cells, that perform biological protein synthesis. And if we ask, is the probability of creating a molecular machine that perform biological protein synthesis one of 1074? And if we consider that we know at least two very different ribosomes in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, then we understand that variety of such machines should be great, but very few have survived the selection. And if there could be, let's say, 1040 variations of protein synthesizing machines, where some of them are very efficient and some of them are inefficient, then the probability of such machine creation is more like 1040 of 1074, that is 1 of 1034, and that number can be supported by enough nucleotides on Earth for replications and mutations, considering that this process was distributed in millions or billions of years, that is 1010 days or something like that. And if you remember from school Avogadro number, that is 6 times 1023 molecules in 22.4 liters of ideal gas, then with life probability we are getting to very realistic numbers. If you have not read What Happened 65 Million Years Ago, check it out. Read free ebook Time Matters in PDF, Amazon, Google. P.S. Check recent research on proto-ribosome. Maybe ribosome complexity is reducible and it has evolved after all.